Hey Gators and sports fans, get all your Gator talk, news, analysis, and opinions on the Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning podcast. Find us on your favorite podcast platform or watch us on Facebook Live between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. every weekday. Pod Up, because we are Gator fans. So say it's great to be a Florida Gator.
Good morning and welcome to a Monday edition of Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. It's Monday. That means we're going to recap the weekend. A lot of stuff happened with our man JC on the Titan MR hotline. Good morning, JC. How are you?
Hey, I'm okay. Week of Christmas. Here we are. And yeah, man, I'm ready to roll. Got a little trip to take this week, and then we'll be back on Christmas Day. And then it's another trip, QB, to Texas. So that's what I got planned for the next 2 weeks.
A lot of trips you're taking, JC. It sounds miserable.
You can't. No. We're going to go watch the semifinal game. We're going to go do some Christmas stuff with the in-laws, and then come back, see the kids, and then get ready for semifinal football, baby. Semifinal football. Alabama, Cincinnati, Michigan,
how much
Georgia.
are semifinal tickets costing right now?
It just depends on where you sit. They're cheaper in Dallas than they would be in, of course, Miami with Georgia and Michigan. If Michigan wins, however, I think, or Cincinnati, let's say either one of them win, or both win, then tickets will be literally impossible to find in Indianapolis at Lucas Oil Stadium because of the proximity of Indianapolis to both Ann Arbor and Cincinnati. Very close, and those two fan bases will bring the entire lot to Indianapolis. So, Georgia Alabama rematch would not be exciting for most of the country. I don't think anybody wants to see that, and that would keep ticket prices lower. So we'll see how that works out.
Well, I don't think Cincinnati has a chance. Do you think Cincinnati has a chance?
Oh, I think they do. I mean, look, we've seen Alabama play some really miserable football this year. Let's just call it for what it is. They are inconsistent, but they've somehow won 12 games, and they played their best game in the last game they played. However, they've lost one of their best players on the outside, who they were able to compensate for in the second half of the Georgia game. I'm talking about John Mechie. But Alabama's also played some real mutt games. I mean, they looked bad against Arkansas. They looked bad against LSU. They allowed Tennessee to go up and down the field on them. They've had some very difficult nights. So if they can find that consistency that they had against Georgia, yeah, they'll blow Cincinnati right out. But if they play like they did against Arkansas and get pushed around the field, or LSU even, then I don't see why Cincinnati wouldn't hang around and make it a game. Why wouldn't they?
I don't think they have a chance. That's just my gut feeling. And
that's very profound. I mean, that really dives deep into it there, QB. They don't have a chance. Okay. Well,
they don't. Unless Bryce Young gets COVID and can't play.
None of that. Yeah. Well, Bryce Young is he's a special guy, no doubt about it.
Speaking of COVID, you got a bunch of NFL games that were moved to. It's going to be great if you're a football fan. It gives you something to watch while everybody else is wrapping presents and doing miserable stuff like that. You can watch football for the next
Grinch.
2 or 3 days.
You are the Grinch.
Well, JC, do you like to wrap presents?
I'm not good at it, but it's kind of nice to put the music on and try it out. Wrapping presents, it's not a bad thing.
Here's what you do.
Try it out one time.
The hell with wrapping presents. Just get the little bags and just stick stuff in bags.
I'm definitely a bag guy. I love the bags. You get some bags and that tissue.
You can reuse the bags for next year, too.
Yeah. Oh, yes, we do reuse the bags. It's funny. You give a present to somebody, say, Merry Christmas, and then they look at it, they take the stuff out of the bag, and then you swipe the bag back. It's great. Use it for next year. Oh, excuse me, by the way, I'm glad you like the present. Give me that bag.
No, because usually they're all opening them at your house, and they don't want to take all that crap with them,
No, that's true. Good point. Yeah. Bags are great. I'm all bag guy. I'm all for bags. I agree with you.
Yeah, Gators hired more coaches and more administrators and more analysts. I was trying to find the titles of these names. They hired this guy's name is his title is Director of Recruiting Innovation.
Nice. That means he uses technology and things like that.
Then this guy is the director of player athletic development.
Oh, gosh.
So that's a title.
Yeah.
Then we have, I'm going down these different titles. Then we have director of player personnel we've hired. We have Katie, who we got from Georgia, who's the assistant AD of recruiting strategy. Get you some of that.
Recruiting strategy can be summed up in one sentence. So,
and what is that?
Get the best player you can to fill your need. And so,
that's right. So,
I as far as I love the development of what was it, talent, or what'd you say, the director of the talent development?
I don't know. It's just so funny because he's hired all these people. It's part of the army he's bringing in.
Yes.
But the titles are what crack me up. And
right. Well, you got to call them something,
right? They have to give them a name. So
yeah, got to call them something.
Rick says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law, don't sign the card either. Just use it again. Talking about the bags for Christmas.
Good job, Rick. Good job. Yeah, don't sign the card. Just reuse it. I'm with you, man. You see how much those cards cost in Publix? My God.
I'm not a big card guy.
Yeah, cards. They end up being conduits for checks a lot of times. But sometimes they have words in them that make you feel really good. And so my wife and I go to Publix, and the way we do Valentine's is we pick a Valentine's card at the card aisle at Publix. We turn around, and then we give it to each other. We read it, and then we put it back.
While you're standing in the aisle?
Yeah. Why? Why spend, what was it, $24 for those damn things? I'm not spending $12 on that. Look, she knows what my signature's like. So she imagines my signature down there, love, all this. And so we get the card out of the aisle. We read it. Okay, that sounds good. Now hand it to each other. Great. Read it. Oh, that's so great. Hug, kisses. Put the card back in the aisle and go back to shop. There you go.
You just destroyed Hallmark's business, JC. Everybody's going to do that.
Happy Valentine's Day. It is a flawless way to express your Valentine love. So there you go.
Turn your car, truck into a rolling billboard for your business or brand with an eye-catching vehicle wrap from Wrap Spot this December. Mention promo code Shane and receive 13% off your vehicle wrap. Speaking with JC on the Titan Tomorrow hotline. All right, JC, we had a bunch of bowl games
yep.
already. You have not had much success picking bowl games. I'm on a tear. You got bowl games today.
Yeah.
We got to go ahead and pick our Peachland Dentistry today's pick. We're going to pick them right now, and then we're going to talk about some other things. We got three games today.
3 games. Okay.
We have the Myrtle Beach Bowl.
Okay.
With Tulsa and Old Dominion. Tulsa's favored by 9. Who you like?
Give me, since the underdogs have really looked good here in these secondary bowl games, I'm going to stay with that and take Old Dominion.
Okay, I'm going with the Monarchs as well. In the National Football League, you got a doubleheader starting at 5 o'clock. The Browns -3 against the Raiders.
That's going to be one of those where I just don't know who Cleveland has available to play football today.
No, they moved the game. They should have everybody.
Okay, then if that's the case, I'll take Cleveland at home. I know why they moved the game, but I still don't know if these guys have practiced. They've done anything. Of course, at this time of year, maybe they don't need to.
That doesn't matter.
Yeah, it probably doesn't matter. So I'll take, if healthy, I like Cleveland. Well, healthier, I like Cleveland at home against the Raiders. Raiders are flailing. I'll take Cleveland for sure.
I like the Browns too. Rick says, JC, you probably open a bag of cookies and eat a few, then put the bag back to it.
No. I would never do that. But greeting cards are so easy. You just got to make sure when you're on the aisle at Publix and you do all the lovey-dovey stuff that there's not 17 shoppers trying to get Cokes and waters and all that stuff that usually inhabit the same aisle as the Hallmark cards. So you got to pick your time and be a little choosy about it. But you can have a great Valentine's Day in aisle 4 at Publix. You really can. Trust
All right,
me.
and then the real Monday night game, the Bears are hosting the Vikings -6.5.
Well, the Bears are trash, and they can't figure out how to score points. Minnesota's trying to make a playoff. I hate laying a lot of points in the NFL in this game. The way to really do all of this is in-game betting, live betting, if you have that capability. A federal judge made sure that we didn't have that capability here in Florida for the time being, but it will change eventually. However, given the fact that the line is 6.5 before the game, I'm going to go with Minnesota because I think they'll outscore Chicago pretty easily.
Okay, so we'll have something different.
Take the Bears.
Take the Bears. I'll take the Bears at home. All right, JC. So yesterday in the National Football League, your Jaguars are still horrible.
Man.
Yeah, I was thinking about this. I watched about 10 plays of the Jaguar game.
Yeah.
You know, the Jaguars were really good when they first came into existence because they had the expansion draft. You know, they helped both them and the Panthers. And think about it. I want to say the Panthers and the Jaguars in like year 2 or year 3 both
they were
went
playing
to
in
like
the playoffs.
AFC Championship game.
Yeah, they're in playoffs. Right.
I think they may have to do an expansion draft to help the Jags out. They are so bad. It's like they're playing Power 5 football, and they are a Division II team.
Yeah, they're a bad FCS
no
team.
Talent. They have no talent on that team at all. It's amazing to me.
It's I actually watched some of that yesterday in St. Augustine. Watched the first half of the game, and I see it, dude. I see what you're saying. I mean, they just I don't know who some of these guys are. Where do they find these guys? And I agree with you, man. They're a miserable team to watch play football. And when you make the Houston Texans look like the old Houston Oilers running up and down the field, you've got problems. I mean, I didn't even know who the hell Houston had as quarterback. Listen, Jacksonville's got a lot of issues. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what coach is going to want to come down and look at that roster and think he's got a chance to win in 2 years. I don't know. I'm sure it turns over pretty quick in the NFL. The rules are set up to try to help the teams that struggle. But, I mean, how long have we been talking about Jacksonville having early round draft picks? And it just doesn't seem like they can figure it out. I don't know what the answer is right now.
Well, they're going to have the first. They're going to have the first pick again in this year's draft.
It looks like it because the Lions, and I don't know where that came from yesterday against Arizona. Arizona just didn't even want to play yesterday. They didn't show up. And Detroit put it on them to win their second game, which was, I think, the shock of the day. Without a doubt, that was the shock of the day. And I'm also going to point out that the Miami Dolphins have now won 6 games in a row and have gotten to 500 with a chance. And that's amazing. The other game that was really stunning to watch last night was how one side of the football literally took over the game with New Orleans and Tampa. The way the Saints played defense reminded me of the time they played Green Bay and Jacksonville at the beginning of the season, how they completely neutralized the quarterback position, and they dominated. And when Tampa lost those 3 playmakers, Fournette, Evans, and Godwin, it was over for Tom Brady. He had nowhere to go, nothing. He had no answers. And somehow the Saints kept the Bucs out of the scoring column. I just couldn't believe it. So those were the 3 things that caught my eye yesterday, QB.
You know, the other thing that caught my eye was the Green Bay Packers are probably the best team in football with Aaron Rodgers. It's amazing what he does with no players.
They score. They score. I mean, yeah. I mean, Aaron Jones is probably playing 60% right now. He's not 100% healthy. And so they find this guy, A.J. Dillon, right? And he does what he's supposed to do. Scantling, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, once every 10 games shows up and plays football for the Green Bay Packers and is effective. So you're right. I think the Packers right now are, listen, if they get the 1 seed QB and they're playing in Green Bay during the playoffs, who's going to beat them up there? Now, last year that happened. They got beat up there. But the way they're going right now, I can't disagree with you, but there's still a lot to do, and you never know. But I agree. I think Green Bay is, in the NFC, may be the team to beat. I like the way Dallas is playing defense right now. I think the 49ers are playing some physical football, and they're dangerous with the weapons they have if they stay healthy. The Rams have a possible chance to be pretty disruptive in the playoffs. I still think, though, that the Saints defense, I know they have 0 offense, QB, but did you see their defense last night? They just take over the game like the old Baltimore Ravens did with Trent Dilfer. I mean, they literally took over that football game, and it was amazing how they punished Tampa Bay. It's amazing they can win a game without an offense. They had 0 offense and still won the football game.
Yeah, win 9-0. The Saints are 7-7. It's going to be tough for them to make the playoffs. But they've beaten the Packers this year and the Buccaneers twice.
They are the 7th seed, QB. They are right now.
Oh, they are
7th seed. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was. It's interesting. It's the National Football League is a crazy, crazy business.
It's nuts.
We got a text here on the Titan MR text line. It comes from Gary. Gary says Coach Prime needs a QB that can throw accurately. Well, that QB is his son, Gary. And
Oh,
Jackson State got hammered in their bowl game against South Carolina State.
QB, did they have a full house at the Mercedes-Dome for that? Did you see that?
That I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. They may have. I mean,
wow.
That's a big bowl game for the HBCU universities. Every year now.
Mm-hmm.
They may have sold it out because I don't know when the last time South Carolina State was like a 8-4 team. Jackson State was like 11-1.
Yeah,
South Carolina State dominated them, and so,
they did out of Orangeburg, South Carolina. Orangeburg, South Carolina. And listen, I mean, this kid that went to Jackson State, I'm more and more convinced now than ever after hearing people talk over the weekend and watching that about 6 minutes of that game yesterday that he really didn't have a choice to go to Georgia and the other schools because he couldn't get in.
It was academics.
Of course it was. So why isn't everybody talking about that? Why don't we hear the media say, listen, this is why he's there, instead of, wow, he got one over on Georgia. He didn't get one over on Georgia or Auburn or whoever. That kid had to go there, right? So
yeah, well, the same thing I told you last year. Florida lost out on a kid, as did Georgia, due to the kids academically, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's a great place. Deion's done a great job.
Right, but let's be honest about it instead of trying to prop up Jackson State as if that's some sort of football name we need to keep up with during the year. I got nothing against them, but it's an FCS school, and you wouldn't know who they were if Deion Sanders wasn't the coach. You wouldn't even talk about them. Nobody would. So he's done a fantastic job. He's done exactly what they wanted him to do when they hired him, right? But that's not a long-term destination, I wouldn't think. And I don't think they're going to start stealing recruits out of Power 5 schools. I don't see that happening either.
Not at all. Not at all. JC, some other stuff, some news and notes around college football. Some quarterbacks from the SEC West have transferred. Max Johnson, who there were rumors that he may ended up at Florida, but ended up going with his brother to Texas A&M to play for Jimbo Fisher. And then Bo Nix has announced that he's going to be an Oregon Duck.
Well, they're going to run the football a lot at Oregon then, because to me, he's not an elite passer in any way, shape, or form. But I think it is a fresh start and maybe something that kid needs to kind of get away and try something different and play in the Pac-12 where he could actually maybe have some really exciting numbers instead of having to deal with the SEC West every other weekend or every other game. As far as Max Johnson goes, I think it's pretty interesting. Max threw the game-winning touchdown for Ed Orgeron's last game, or last regular season game as head coach of the LSU Tigers to beat Texas A&M, didn't he? And so, that was pretty cool to think of. Wow, I remember watching Max Johnson drive the Tigers 90 yards down the field to beat A&M, and here he is now joining A&M. He's going to have a chance. I don't know. I think A&M is their recruiting was spectacular this year. Jimbo said it would be when he was being rumored to leave the school and go somewhere. And his first words out of his mouth were, why would I leave this place where I have everything I want in a recruiting class that you guys are going to be talking about for years to come? So part of that may be true. It may be.
Yeah, Brandon says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mellon Law, Prime needs a better staff. I don't know who's on this staff. I mean,
well, they don't have the money they don't have the money to get a better staff, I wouldn't think. I just don't think you're going to hire a bunch of Power 5 Division I type coaches to coach there. But either way, good for Jackson State. They got on the map. They made some noise. Now, it's pretty much over. South Carolina State blew them out. I mean, they just blew them out. So.
Yeah, it wasn't even close. Now, JC, I was flipping through the channels because, it was raining a little bit here and there yesterday. Did you happen to watch any of the golf?
The PNC, no, I did not see that. We were in St. Augustine. I was kind of focused on some NFL. I missed some of that PNC, but I'm sure you got something fun to talk about there.
I've never watched that event, and I thought it was outstanding because it's it's the PGA Tour player or former PGA Tour player, and their kid playing along with them.
Right. It used to be
Justin Thomas. Justin Thomas played with his dad, so it's a immediate family member, I guess.
Well, it used to be known as the Office Depot Father-Son Challenge. It's what it used to be, and then
this isn't just father-son because there were Nelly Corda, I believe that's how you pronounce her name, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
she played. So it was awesome to watch, quite honestly. It's a scramble format, which I can't stand scrambles, but in this case, it was
it makes sense.
It was very intriguing, and Big John Daly and his boy won it.
That's right. Well, yeah, it's a very interesting thing to watch in December if you're still on the golf thing. Golf for me starts when we get talking about the Florida swing. Well, actually, the California swing. I love Pebble Beach and La Jolla and all that. But yeah, that's a nice event in December. It really is. Great things happen. I love watching Charlie Woods. I mean, his dad, and he is a replica of his dad out there with his mannerisms.
Well, that's what's
on the
crazy is if you watch, they showed about a 2-minute clip of all the competitors and how the mannerisms, the way they walked, the way they swung, everything was exactly like their dad. It was unbelievable. Now, I'm not talking about just Tiger and Charlie. I'm talking about gosh, I can't even think of their names now, who all played in the tournament. It was Kuchar and his kid. Every one of them. John Daly's kid looks just like him, acts just like him, shaped just like him, swings just like him. So it was very cool, I thought. But yeah, Charlie's a little dude now. He needs to grow a little bit.
He will. I bet he will. Now, he has a small mama, but yeah, I bet you he will grow. It just really entertains me to see him stick that putter out as the ball's going in and walking like the old man did. And how about Tiger, man? He looks okay, doesn't he, for someone who almost had his leg shattered off? So
yeah, I mean, he can't play a real event right now. But
no.
We had a Facebook Live here. What do y'all think about John's golf pants? Well, he's sponsored by, I think they're still in business, called Loudmouth Golf, where they have these crazy pants and stuff. And so he's always wearing those. But I thought it was interesting. I usually don't care about those kind of things, but
it was fun to watch. It would have been fun to watch.
You got joint pain in your knees, shoulders, hip, or back that won't go away, you need to check out QC Kinetics for long-lasting relief. No surgery, drugs, or downtime. Schedule your free consultation at QC Kinetics. 352-400-4550. Call them today. 352-400-4550. A few more minutes with JC, and then I'll finish up the program going solo, trying to read some of your Facebook Live comments and your text.
QB, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and do tomorrow night. Tomorrow, since I won't be here, there's 2 games tomorrow also.
What are they? I don't have
Seahawks are getting 7 from the Rams. Rams getting players back as we speak. Ramsey will be back. A couple of Henderson will be back. Rams getting some players back for a Tuesday game against the Seahawks. I'm going to take. I love the Rams, but that's a lot of points. Seattle plays them tough in LA, so I'll take the 7 in that game.
Well, crap, I was going to take the Seahawks, but since you took them, I will take the Rams.
Okay. And then the Washington team is playing at Philadelphia tomorrow night. Also, same time. Eagles are laying 6.5, and I like Washington getting those points. I think I'll take that.
Yeah, I like Washington. I like the Redskins as well. Is there a bowl game tomorrow night?
So in the bowl world, we have the Wyoming Cowboys playing Kent State. I'm just going to take Wyoming because of how cool Wyoming is, laying 3 points. This is the Potato Bowl. And then in the nightcap, we have San Diego State laying 3-2 San Antonio in the Frisco Bowl. And I'll take San Antonio getting the 3 there. So I'll lay 3 with Wyoming and catch 3 with San Antonio.
Wow. You got both the teams I like. I love the Roadrunners. They're a great story.
They're fun to watch.
UTSA. Yeah. Real quick, JC, we got some Facebook Lives here brought to you by Meldon Law.
Okay.
Eric asked, do y'all think Jacksonville could land Sean Payton?
Well, I think he would do wonders for Trevor Lawrence, but I don't see him leaving New Orleans. I don't know why that name would come up. Is there a story behind that, QB? You're usually on top of the Saints. They're your team.
No, so. I don't know. I was thinking about this because, the Jags are so bad right now and been so awful for so long. It reminds me of my younger days in Mississippi growing up watching the Saints.
Yeah,
when they wore the Aints, they wore the bags over their head.
Yeah, they're awful.
And they turned it around, and I guess they turned it around. I'm trying to remember when Sean Payton took over. So I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that. Brandon asked, "What about Baltimore? What about Baltimore going for 2 instead of tying the game? What did you think about the ending of that game?"
I agreed with the call. I did. You don't want to give Aaron Rodgers a chance to beat you without even maybe a chance to get the ball in overtime. I think when you're that dilapidated and you don't have many players and you've got a quarterback who's hot, he missed a guy right in the back of the end zone that was wide open on that 2-point conversion. He threw it to the corner, hoping that Mark Andrews would catch it. But you have to really admire the way that quarterback played. And I don't know. I mean, I think it was the right call, QB, because I just don't think you can give Aaron Rodgers a chance to beat you in overtime if you go that route. But some folks would say, well, take your chances on the coin flip. It's better than a 2-point conversion. I'm not sure about that. So if you can win. Now, having said that, QB, if they had gotten that 2-point conversion and gone up by 1, you still had 48 seconds left on the clock. So that doesn't mean they would have won the game at all, because Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers at 48 seconds and Mason Crosby, we've seen that story throughout history. So it doesn't mean they would have won even if they had gotten it to.
Yeah, we had a Facebook Live here. It went away, but it was referring to people wanted to know my thoughts on why the Falcons don't target Kyle Pitts more like Kittle and Waller and all the great tight ends in the league. The few games that I've watched, Kyle Pitts is listed in your program as a tight end, but he's not a tight end. He is lining up like a wide receiver almost every play out wide or in the slot. So he's not playing the same position as the guys that were mentioned in that. We got a lot of comments here on the HBC recruit, the kid that Deion got. George says if they attacked an HBC recruit and said he couldn't get in the Power 5 because of grades, the race car we play. We never know the real reason these kids pick the schools, whether it's NIL or grades or some under the table item. But sadly, in today's society, nobody can criticize any minority person or institution without race car coming out. Well, I don't know this. I just know I'm referring to last year when all over Twitter it was Deion stole a recruit from Florida and Georgia.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
But that was not the case. Neither kid was allowed academically into either institution. So there you have that. I think that there is some truth to what was just said, though. I agree with that. But I also think that if that's the case, there's no shame in it. I mean, it's not like the kid is being criticized. It's just the reality of the situation. And folks, at some point in our society, will start segmenting reality from what they want to be reality or make believe. And so, if that was the case, there's nothing wrong with saying it. And it's not a slight to the kid or the player. Let him go to Jackson State, and then if he gets his grades and he does well academically there, he can go play for Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss or anywhere, right? So, I mean, everybody always assumes the most sensitive, evil thing is coming out of people's mouths, and it's just not the case. If the kid couldn't get into FSU, that is fine. Guess what? There's a lot of people who can't get their asses into Florida who are very qualified to go to Florida, but for whatever reason, the University of Florida won't have you, okay? It's the same way at other schools. You can't just walk into Stanford. You can't just walk into Notre Dame. That's just life. So, if that was the case, then I don't see what the big deal is. But I think he's right with his premise about the racism thing. Yeah. Yeah. All right, JC, I want to read This Day in Sports, brought to you by our good friends at Comfort Temp. Comfort is our business. Peace of mind is our promise. Comfort Temp's now hiring team members with all levels of experience. $1,000 signing bonus for qualified positions. Give Comfort Temp a call, 352-376-2366. This Day in Sports. In 1985, sportscaster Howard Cosell retires from television sports after 20 years with ABC. This is Howard Cosell.
Oh my God! Well, that was pretty good, JC. That was really good.
Yeah, you like my Howard Cosell?
I did like your Howard Cosell.
I didn't realize he retired in '85 because I felt like I grew up. Well, I did. I guess when I was 15, I was in 10th grade.
You're in high school. Yeah, you're in high school.
And so when I was a youngster, when I was a youngster, I was only because I was that kid that went to bed until I went to college. I was asleep by 9 o'clock every single night in high school. because I had so many sports I was playing the next day. I was exhausted when I got home. But I used to get on Monday Night Football. Remember, it was Central Time where I grew up.
Right.
I was allowed to stay up a little bit late on Monday night, but I had to go to bed after the halftime highlights.
Oh.
Remember how they used to do the halftime highlights?
The halftime highlights. Yeah, man.
And then once the halftime highlights ended, I was required to go to bed.
Yeah. That same thing happened to me with Monday Night Baseball. I mean, Dad let me watch it to the 5th inning, and then after the 5th inning, it was off, even if the Yankees were playing the hated Orioles, right? So I know that experience, QB. And, if you grew up as a teenager in the 80s with the way the world's going today, consider yourself blessed. That's what I'm going to say, because, boy, that was a great decade, and those were some great things that you just talked about right there. The highlights, the halftime highlights. Imagine that. But we got a lot of good things here, and we got a lot of good things tonight. We got some football tomorrow night, 2 games both tonight and tomorrow night. If you love it, then this is for you. And then Christmas is coming, and then Christmas is going, and playoffs are coming. So this is a great time of year, man. I'm excited.
JC, I want to get your thoughts on this question from John, because it's one of your many NFL teams. He says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law, what do you think the chances are of Micah Parsons winning Defensive Rookie of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year? Would be the first to do it since Lawrence Taylor. I think he's going to win it.
I wouldn't doubt that at all about Micah Parsons. What a season he's having. And if you watched on HBO Max the Hard Knocks episodes with the Dallas Cowboys, you would have gotten to know Micah Parsons, because they really focused on him quite a bit. He's turned out to be a stud. And that's one of the reasons why he and Diggs, and of course some others, one of the reasons why Dallas is 10-4 and playing such good defense. And I would not be surprised to see him win certainly will win Rookie Defensive Player of the Year, but also the Defensive Player of the Year. That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, we got a text here on the Titan Mark text line from George. I'm going to paraphrase. George says, QB, I loved your Howard Cosell, whatever. Ask JC, since he used to be a sportscaster, if Howard Cosell was his idol.
Oh, man, that's a good one. Well, yeah, he was. I mean, I love the way he would ask, the way he stood up to Muhammad Ali and the boxing, and the things he is the legend, right? I mean, he was the legend. Howard was the best, and everybody knows. And Keith Jackson was one of the best, and everybody knows that. And Brent Musburger, still to this day, is just an unbelievable. He's a legend, right? So those are some of the names that as sportscasters you grow up in our generation or in mine that you would have looked up to as legends, and that's what they are. I mean, Brent Musburger's still doing it with the Raiders on the play-by-play. But it started with Howard, and then I think Keith Jackson. Keith Jackson didn't always just do college football. He also did Monday Night Baseball and the World Series and games like that on ABC. I loved it. And I loved some of the old golfers, Chris Schenkel, John McKay on Wild World of Sports. These guys were just legends. And if you ever have a chance to pull up YouTube and listen to their voices, that's what we grew up with. People in my generation, the late baby boomers, we grew up with those guys, and there'll never be anybody like them. Of course, I'm sure people who are growing up today listening to whoever they listen to will say the same thing 25 years from now as well. But Howard Cosell was one of the greatest. Yeah, he did everything. So the answer is absolutely.
Yeah, no question. Rick says here on Facebook Live, speaking of not having grades, did you read about this? Bishop Sycamore High found to be a scam after Ohio Department of Education investigated them. Yeah, it was they had like 20-something-year-old kids playing high school ball. John says on Facebook, I saw where Shane's favorite 7A high school, St. Thomas Aquinas, beat Tampa Bay Tech to win the state title. Yeah, again, the private playing the public is ridiculous.
I'm with you. That's
only in the state of Florida that happened.
Yeah, well, like I said, they've got an office right down here in Gainesville. You can go stand outside with a sign saying FHSAA, unfair to public football teams, and just walk around in circles in the parking lot. Start the picketing, get the movement going, dude. Change happens if you want it to. But I'm with you.
I don't care that much.
Okay. Well, it's true, but you're right about that. You're right about all that. Yeah.
All right, JC.
All right, man.
Better luck tonight and tomorrow on your picks because you were absolutely awful this weekend. We'll talk to you on Wednesday.
Okay, we'll see you then. All right.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, won't back down. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Great Clips, it's gonna be great. Our Gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Celebration Point Town Center, South State Bank, Chris Doring Mortgage, Silverback Concrete Co. Some of our touchdown sponsors are MB Listing, McDonald's of Gainesville, My IT Masters, Gainesville Neon and Signs, 84 Lumber, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Avera and Smith, Dowling Signs, Baker's Sporting Goods, Ruse Ogra Agent, State Farm Insurance, Silver Cube Billiards and Sports Bar. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit potupwithshane.com and click the Advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure you follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Are you tired of being sidelined by nagging pain? Hi, I'm Emmitt Smith, Hall of Famer and Dance with the Stars champion. Happy to tell you about QC Kinetics and their biologic therapies for treating pain without drugs or surgery.
Are you suffering from chronic pain in your hips, knees, shoulder, or lower back? Are you tired of living with arthritis pain? QC Kinetics offers natural pain treatment that can repair and restore damaged tissue in your joints.
Listen, I know pain, and I've seen firsthand how powerful biologic therapies can be. Patients at QC Kinetics rave about their result because they're getting their lives back. They are getting moving again.
These exciting regenerative treatments used to be available only to pro athletes like Emmitt. Now they're available to anyone thanks to QC Kinetics. Call today for your free consultation.
Get long-lasting results from my friends at QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics 352-400-4550. In North Central Florida, call 352-400-4550. QC Kinetics 352-400-4550.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Celebration points where the Gators go to celebrate with premium brands like Nike, Regal Cinemas, Le Macaron, Dave & Buster's, Medici's, Palmetto Moon, and the HBC's Restaurant Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, now serving brunch on Saturdays and Sundays. We'll see you at Celebration Point, where the Gators go to celebrate. I want to thank JC for joining us on the Titan MR Hotline. Also, if you're if you want to go to a New Year's Eve party, I know they're having a big party at Spurrier's to break in 2022. We got some Facebook Lives here, brought to you by Meldon Law. Toby says, saw over the weekend Bo Nix is transferring to Oregon. Yep, we mentioned that earlier. Appreciate that. Let's see here. Mary says, is it true that the private schools recruit from public schools? Yes, that is true, but public schools recruit a little bit as well now. When the state of Florida basically changed the rule where you can, no matter where you live, as long as you've got transportation, you can attend that school. What's crazy is you can play 3 different sports at 3 different high schools in a year. Tell me how that makes sense. Yeah, but it's we could do a whole show and about 3 shows on how messed up high school sports are in the state of Florida. But anyway, Chris says here, all the Buffalo Bills 8 wins this year. All games have gone or been in double digits. Buffalo is a sneaky team. I wouldn't want to play them. I think Josh Allen is a phenomenal player, and they got a chance to go deep if they make the playoffs. Natasha says about the Ohio State, Jack Miller's his name, Natasha. I know we are trying to sign him. He's a drop back thrower. Hadn't played hardly any at Ohio State. but I know Billy Napier and the crew have reached out to him and trying to sign him and one other quarterback as well. They want to try to bring in 2. So we will see if that happens. I think they have to bring in 2 for sure for competition. And Jack Miller's a drop back thrower. Don't know anything about him, just know he's a drop back passer. I think he was pretty highly rated when he came out. Kyle says Merritt Island went to play Miami and lost. Miami Central. Miami was playing with recruits, and Merritt Island played with only their Islanders. Yeah, some high schools are still, your local guys, but kids can move around now to the public schools, which I get. But again, what I was trying to get at is I don't care if a public school recruits all their players, they still shouldn't play against a private school. Just makes absolutely no sense to me. If you missed it, you got Monday Night Football. You got 2 games this evening, folks. Then 2 games tomorrow, National Football League games. You also have college bowl games as well. So a lot to watch leading up to Christmas. Gators play Thursday night in Tampa against Central Florida. I don't know what to expect. I'll be on the call with Mick Hubert. I don't know what to expect in this game. I know we ain't practiced very much. None of the coaches that are going to be coaching this game will be back as Gators. It's an awful scenario, in my opinion, for the Florida football program. It's a no-win situation. You're supposed to beat UCF. If you lose to them, you got to hear about it. So let's see. John asked on Facebook Live, Shane, if you were a recruit right now, what major school runs an offense that you would fit with your abilities? That's a great question. I think I'd be pretty good playing for Lincoln Riley. I know I would like to play for Lincoln Riley if I was a quarterback. Let me think who else. Alabama. I love what Alabama does offensively. What they do reminds me a lot of Coach Spurrier's down the field vertical passing game with a lot of different concepts. It's good stuff what they run. They don't rely on a lot of the 50-50 balls on the fade stops and balls down the sideline. They actually have concepts that are attacking weaknesses of different zone coverages and man coverages. So I would probably say Alabama, believe it or not. Now, they probably wouldn't recruit me because I was 6'1.5", 165 when I came out of high school. Ken asked, Shane, did they already have the All-Star game? I guess he's referring to high schools. I do not know the answer to that. John says the FHSA needs to change the rule back. You need to live in your district. I agree with that 100%. I don't know why they ever changed it. Makes no sense to me. But it is what it is. The Chris Doring Mortgage, they do mortgage lending right, helping home buyers throughout Gainesville and North Central Florida. Call Chris Doring Mortgage today at 352-244-0840. I'm curious how many Gator fans plan to go to Tampa for this game. But I know it's sold out. Again, I'm calling the game, and I'm not even sure, is the game at the Tropicana Dome or is it at Raymond James? I guess I'll find out when I get there or on my way down. Does anybody know the answer to that here on Facebook Live or on the text line, the Titan MR text line? Because I know it used to be played in the Tropicana Dome, but I think they moved it to Raymond James. Eric says 4 of them will be at the game. All right, cool. But it's sold out, apparently. But it's also said the Florida State game was sold out and there was 1 million empty seats. So I guess it's just if they sold all the tickets or not. I'm going to look it up right now, see where this thing's being played. No, it says it on my phone, the Tropicana Field. So I guess it is. I haven't been there since last time I was at Tropicana Field was when I took my son when the Rays played, was it the Phillies in the World Series? Whoever the Rays played. Now, Vince tells me it's at Raymond James. My phone sit here and says UCF versus Florida. Tropicana Field, St. Petersburg, Florida. Game is on ESPN. Huh. Well, I guess I will find out. Maybe I need to call the UAA and find out where I need to drive to. For some reason, I think it's at Raymond James too. I don't know why the phone says Tropicana. John says, is it more important for today's college QB to have a good arm or good foot speed and elusive? The most important thing in a quarterback is decision-making, accuracy, and toughness. Those are the three things I look at. And those are the three things, if I was coaching, that's all I would care about. I don't care how strong your arm is. I don't care how fast you are. I don't care how big you are. Look at the kid that just threw 62 touchdowns in one season, broke the college football record. Bailey Zappi from Western Kentucky. Little joker, but boy, can he throw it. I want to say he was a transfer from Texas Tech. Tom says the game is at Raymond James Stadium. Thanks, Tom. Okay, well, the phone is wrong, and that's a good thing because I'd rather drive to Tampa instead of driving to St. Pete. Gasparillo, I appreciate all you folks checking that out for me. Everybody says it's at Eric says it's at Tropicana. Gasparillo Bowl website says it's at Raymond James. So that'll be funny if a lot of people show up at Tropicana instead of Raymond James. But, yeah, those are the most important things in a quarterback, in my opinion. Accuracy, decision-making, and toughness. So I don't care about your arm strength. There's so many guys that go to these combines and these Elite 11s, these different camps, and they look great in shorts. Throw the ball on air, 75 yards. They test your, how far you can throw it. You don't ever throw a ball over 50 yards in a football game unless it's a Hail Mary, ever. Not even the NFL guys. Do you want to have great arm talent? Yes, but you got to know how to use it. Aaron Rodgers knows how to use his arm talent. Same way with Patrick Mahomes. So, John says Felipe had all the physical tools, but he didn't have it from the neck up. Yeah, I mean, good kid, extremely talented, but there's way more to playing quarterback than having a good arm and being able to run. And again, what I like out of a quarterback position is totally different than what this guy may like. I don't get excited when my quarterback or the team I'm watching or the team I'm a fan of runs for a bunch of yards or runs for 70 yards, because I need a guy that's going to make good decisions, throw the ball accurately, and win me football games throwing the football. That's how you win at the quarterback position. So John says, Shane, why does it appear today that QBs on average today are much more athletic with speed, jumping, et cetera, than they were when you played? Because, in my opinion, college coaches now think they can take the really athletic guy and make him a quarterback, make him a good thrower. You can't. I don't know. I mean, maybe 1 out of every 100 gets better at throwing, but accuracy is something that you cannot teach, in my opinion. Anticipation is something you cannot teach, in my opinion. It's what you're born with. It's just like the good Lord blesses us with really strong arms or average arms. You might be able to do a few little drills or stuff in the weight room to strengthen your arm. I don't buy it. You have what you have. And so college coaches, they want a guy that when the protection breaks down or a play that they called isn't very good, run around and make me look good. Okay? That's what most coaches want. But if you look at I go back to Alabama. They don't ever call a run play for their quarterbacks. I don't know. Maybe they called a couple for Jalen Hurts, but not a lot. But they didn't call any for Mac Jones. They don't call any for Bryce Young. They may run on a scramble, but nothing is designed for them to run the football. And they look for elite throwers that can make good decisions and throw the ball accurately. So that's just my 2 cents. That's how I look at the quarterback position. Some people look at it different. Anyway, let's take our final time out of this program. Come back. I'll finish answering some of these questions. They're good ones. You're watching and listening to Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, won't back down. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Great Clips, it's gonna be great. Our Gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Celebration Point Town Center, South State Bank, Chris Doring Mortgage, Silverback Concrete Co. Some of our touchdown sponsors are Campus USA Credit Union, Adams Rib Company, Doreen Wiebe Realtor, Caldwell Banker, MM Parish, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Rap Spot, Okido America, Gators Dockside, Style Cuts, Big Mills Cheesesteaks. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit potupwithshane.com and click the advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure you follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Visor's Tailgate and Rooftop Bar, located on top of Spurrier's Gridiron Grill in Celebration Point, is now open Thursday through Saturday. Visor's covered open-air bar is the perfect place to gather after work or meet up with friends. You'll love the handcrafted cocktails and elevated shareables available every Thursday through Saturday. Visor's Tailgate and Rooftop Bar is perfect for fans of great food, great drinks, and great weather. Visors not required. High spirits are highly encouraged. Visit spurriers.com/visors.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. At South State Bank, we understand that small businesses need a community business partner that they can rely on. South State has 4 convenient Alachua County locations. South State Bank, banking for member FDIC. On Facebook Live, brought to you by Meldon Law, the only official law firm partner of the Florida Gators. Natasha's Facebook Live is on point. She says, the athletic QBs stand out in high school, so unless you have good scouts, they don't find the smart, accurate arms. Yeah, there's a lot of high school quarterbacks. Sometimes schools put their best athlete at quarterback and let them run around and make plays. James says, I think the problem with the dual threat quarterback, your shelf life not too good, especially in the NFL. Once your athleticism is gone, you better be able to read defense. Drew Brees is a great example. He played 3 years longer than he should have. Yeah, look, you can only do so much. I mean, the reason like the Lamar Jacksons of the world are in the NFL is because he is an elite freak runner. He can throw a little bit, not great, but he's a freak when it comes to running the football. So John says, so Shane, based on your belief, is Tebow the most successful athletic QB in UF history? I know Spurrier was a great athlete in his time. Today, he probably would not be considered a great athlete. I don't know if Tebow is the best athlete at quarterback. I think a great. I'll tell this another story. I think athlete, the word athletic and athlete, people use the wrong way. But I would say, yeah. I mean, Tim won a national title, won the Heisman Trophy. He was a really good player. But I think if you look around college football now, I think you got to go. You're going back to the old days. I think you got to be a really good thrower. That's just my opinion. I mean, look at, shoot. Bryce Young is an elite thrower of the football. Mac Jones was a really good thrower of the football. I'm going back to teams that are freaking winning a lot of games. So we shall see. But today's show is a wrap, brought to you by Rap Spot. Enjoy your day. A lot of football to watch. We'll see you tomorrow, folks. Take care.